So, we are going to be making, this is going to be for YouTube, and if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to follow me on Twitch, of course. Alright, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to make a Final Fantasy VII summon tier list. Summons, they're fairly simple of them. They're fairly simple. How many of them are there in the game? So there's 16. There's 16 summons in the game, and I have all the properties that these do. I mean, I don't know if I've seen them all. I want to say that I have. There's going to be 3 things that we're going to rate them on. We're going to rate them on damage, usefulness, like being able, like maybe status or utility or something like that, and then aesthetics. So I think that's pretty important. So we're gonna go down the line. First, this is Choco-mog. Now, the description of what Choco-mog is, let's see if we get the, okay, so Deathblow. Summons a Chocobo carrying a Moogle. The Chocobo runs past and collides with the enemy. This attack type causes wind damage and may cause stop effect on the enemies. The damage isn't super crazy, but like I think the death blow aspect of it, being able to doing wind damage, I don't think is super relevant, but causing stop, I think could be pretty useful. The damage aspect of it, I'd give it like maybe a 3 out of 10. The usefulness of Choco-mog is probably like, I'd say 7 out of 10, because being able to cause stop is pretty useful. And aesthetics is maybe like 6 out of 10. It's funny, but it's nothing too crazy. It is nice early game, and this is very true, is that like it is good early game, but then it becomes very obsolete. Now, there is another thing about this summon. So there is something about Choco-mog that can happen. It is a 1 in 8 chance to get this, but you get a fat Chocobo. It falls from the sky and flattens the enemy. And this time it deals non-elemental damage. So if we can manage to get this, we'll farm for it a little bit. Okay. Ah! Yes! Okay. Nice. Okay, so fat Chocobo. Alright. Nice. So the fat Chocobo kind of gets like its own thing. So fat Chocobo damage is like 4 out of 10. Usefulness probably goes down a bit, maybe like 4 out of 10. Aesthetics is like 9 out of 10. No, we'll put 8. 8 out of 10. However, I think the usefulness probably goes up to like maybe 5 or something, or maybe even 6 at this point, because it's also non-elemental, so it affects everything, right? It affects everything equally. So yeah, that's the thing about fat Chocobo, is that it affects everything equally. So non-elemental is pretty good. It's not good against anything, but it's also not bad against anything. So yeah, that wraps that up for that. Okay, next summon, we're gonna go down the line here. Okay, we're gonna do Shiva. I know. So I think that's the only one in this entire game that has a multiple thing. Okay, let's do Shiva. So Shiva, obviously. Okay, so the damage here, it goes up a little bit. This is pretty much the second summon that you get, so I'd say this like 4 out of 10. Usefulness, honestly, there's not really a whole lot of things in the game that are like weak to ice or anything like that, so yeah, I don't really see this being like super useful. The usefulness, yeah, I mean, I'd say this is like probably 4 out of 10, mainly because like, again, like nothing in the game is like weak to ice, really. Yeah, aesthetics, I mean, does she get points for Booba? Are we really gonna do that? I'd say 8 out of 10. I really like the ice effect. You know, we got a pretty girl going up there. I'd say 8 out of 10. Yeah, definitely. So, no, if it had usefulness, like being able to slow things, yes. It would, like, that would go up, but that's not the case. Okay, next is Ifrit. Let's do it. Hellfire! So Ifrit goes... Oh, yeah, dude. Oh, hell yeah, dude. That's so sick. Wait, can we... Dude, wait. We might... Chat, we can do 2 summons in one fight. We can do 2 summons in one fight. So we're going to talk about this. Damage is around the same as, like, Shiva's damage. You know, the trio, the Shiva, Ifrit, and Ramuh, they basically kind of do the same amount of damage. They're powerful. Usefulness, I would say like 4 out of 10. I mean, clearly you can see that like Ifrit was obviously not very good against this guy. In fact, this guy loves having Ifrit casted on him. I'm trying to think of like other enemies in the game that would be weak to fire. And like whenever it comes to elemental like weakness in this game, that's not really too like big of a factor, you know. It's either like enemies just don't take damage from it or they heal. I would probably put this even further down on the usefulness thing. I would say this is probably like 3 out of 10, if anything. It's not that great. You know, whenever you get to Gaia's Quiff, I mean, you can probably utilize Ifrit pretty okay. Like, upon this too. Aesthetics though, you get that about 9. 9 out of 10. I gotta give it. I've always been a huge fan of Ifrit. Okay, let's do Ramuh. Ramuh, I don't know what to call it. Whatever y'all want to say about it. Okay, Judgment Bolt. Okay, so no hidden property about this thing. It's just an old man casting lightning down on the ground there. Okay, so Ramuh damage, basically the same thing. So Ramuh is probably more useful because, like, in this game, there's a lot more things that are weak to lightning than not. Machines, and especially like in the underwater reactor. And a couple things on the train fights as well. Like whenever you have to do the train fights, there are actually 4 enemies that are weak to lightning. So I mean, this can be pretty good against that. But I'd say it's more useful than Shiva or Ifrit. Aesthetics, 7 out of 10, man. All right, now what we're gonna do is do Titan, dude. Come on, Titan. Titan is the boy. Freaking love Titan. Yes. Boom. Oh yeah. Look at that damage, dude. So this is where the damage goes up quite a bit in this case. The damage goes probably to a 6 out of 10 in this case, because like it's a more powerful summon. I mean, yeah, exactly. You have a Titan, just he's deadlifting the earth, like he's grabbing a massive slab of land and just table flipping the enemy. I mean, I don't. I mean, usefulness. Not a whole lot. I mean, it is so Titan is earth type damage. There's a few things in the game that are weak to earth, but you can't use it against flyers, right? So, you know, that is something. There are quite a few flying enemies. Because of the fact that it is unable to hit flyers, I'd say this usefulness is probably like a 3 out of 10, like overall. And the aesthetics, because it doesn't really last that long, I'd say it's 7 out of 10. Aesthetics, 7 out of 10, something like that, you know. Well, and they probably could have done a little better with the animation. Okay, so next down the line is Odin. Okay, so Odin is an interesting one. so there's two things about Odin, is that there's this one, the steel-bladed sword. And this is the yep, this is the insta-kill. Yep. Very sick. Very, very, very cool. Alright, okay, so Odin, SBS, and that's the steel-bladed sword, or we'll just put Zantetsu. So Zantetsuken, well, so the properties, I don't think it's just any enemy in the game. It can't just like slash every enemy in the entire game, right? I think they have to meet a certain criteria for it. I mean, you can't use it against bosses, right? But it is a pretty good way to do it. So, yeah, the Zantetsuken, I mean, damage is literally nothing. I mean, 0 out of 10. It doesn't do any damage at all. But usefulness, though, I'd say is probably like a 6 out of 10. Any enemy that is not, yeah, I think it is a death thing. Like, it casts, like, death on the enemy or whatever. And any enemy that doesn't meet, like, a certain criteria, like normal mobs or something like that, it does just insta-kill, just wipes the board. And aesthetics is pretty badass. So you got a god, like, just riding on the horse atop a cliff. And then he comes down and he just wipes the entire board, right? But then we have this. This is Gunge. You can use Odin materia to add death element to attacks. Well, this isn't... Well... So, this was always my favorite summon as a kid. This was always my favorite summon as a kid. Loved it. Damage, it's about a 6 out of 10. It's on that tier of Titan and stuff. Usefulness, it's non-elemental, so I'd say this is, again, probably like a 6 out of 10, because it's non-elemental. Nothing can resist it. And aesthetics, I would put an 8 out of 10 as well, just for the simple fact that it's pretty awesome. You know, I mean, how are you not gonna... Like, he shoots a spear into the sky and it parts the clouds or something. And then the sun rays shine down and then here comes the lance and just hits the enemy or whatever. It's pretty cool. Odin, though, yeah, this is very true. You can do... Somebody in the chat, they mentioned that. You can apply death if you pair added effect Odin to your weapon, and then what that does is if you have a chance to cause instant death to any enemy in the game. Yeah, so it is added effect, and you can do that. So I mean, I think the usefulness of Odin does go up because of that. You know, I don't think any of this changes because you can apply wind and stuff, but I think death. Not a whole lot of things that like resist death in the game. Well, there's a couple things. You can add stop with Chocobo. Yeah, I mean, I think the usefulness will stay the same because of that. Odin is definitely on that. He's definitely looking like the best thing right now. But next we have... Next we have Leviathan. Bruh. Is it Leviathan? Is this how you spell it? Leviathan. Dude, I think the animation is too short. I think if it was a little more epic, it'd be way better. So, yeah, damage is a 6 out of 10. Usefulness. Again, like, man, there's like one enemy that I know of that's weak to water, and that's one of the guys on the train. He's got like 10k HP. He's a pretty big boy. You get this kind of later. Like, You get this kind of like later in the game. You have to do all of Wutai in order to get this summon. So I'd say by the time you get it, it's probably not the best. I'd say the usefulness is probably like, so I give like a 5 out of 10. Aesthetics, the animation's like not long enough, I don't think. You know? Chat, can you get Leviathan before you fight Genova Life? You can do that, right? You can get Yuffie on disc 1, I think. Right? Yeah. Okay, I've just never done that. So, you know what? I mean, Leviathan, if you pair added effect, or, well, elemental. If you pair elemental with Leviathan, I mean, you might just be able to survive an Aqua Lung from Genova Life. I mean, that thing does a lot of damage, you know? That thing does quite a bit of damage, so, I don't know. Leviathan's pretty... It's alright. It's not bad. Alright, now... Bahamut. Okay, I mean, come on, it's Bahamut. I mean, what do you expect here? Bahamut. This is where the damage goes up. Damage is 7 out of 10, if not like 8. You know, I'd say the damage definitely goes up once you get Bahamut. Like, you know, it is pretty good. The usefulness, again, you know, I'd put it at the same thing, like maybe 5 out of 10 or something like that. You can't really pair it with like anything. However, the thing is about this is it ignores defenses, which is really good. But I'd still put it there. Like, that's what, I mean, the damage really comes in. It's pretty useful. You know what, I'd put that at a 6 out of 10. For, like, usefulness, it's pretty good. Aesthetics, 9 out of 10. I mean, you got Big Dragon. 9 out of 10, pretty reasonable, you know? 9 out of 10. We haven't had a 10 out of 10 thing yet. Okay, so Kjata. This is an underrated one, I think. This is definitely underrated. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That gets a 10 out of 10 for aesthetics, bro. 10 out of 10. 10 out of fucking 10 for aesthetics. Yep. 7 out of 10 for damage. So it is elemental. So what you have to keep in mind is that, like, since it's doing ice, fire, and lightning damage, if anything that you use it on can absorb any of those damage types, it will heal it. So that's like something that you have to keep in mind. So you don't, like, you want to be kind of careful about what you use this against. So it's, again, it's ice, fire, and lightning. Anything that can absorb either of these will get healed from this summon. So definitely be careful of that. And that's why the usefulness would probably go down to 4 out of 10. Just for the simple fact that that's something that you, like, it's kind of limited to where you can use it because of the ability to absorb the thing. But the aesthetics, come on, 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. That's our first 10. Okay, Alexander. I believe this is Holy Element. Yeah. What's weak to Holy? I don't know. This is so sick, dude. That's another 10. That's another 10. Damage is 7 out of 10. Usefulness, this goes up because like undead stuff is like undead stuff is weak to holy. So it definitely goes up. There's a couple things in Nibelheim Mansion that are undead, but like that's really it. There's also stuff in the Cave of the Gi, which you can't get this. You can't. The earliest that you can get the summon is on disc 2. I'm trying to think of anything that would resist holy. Zombie dragons are weak to it, and yeah, I'd say the usefulness is probably like, you know, I'd say 6 out of 10 because there's not really anything in the game that like resists holy. You know, not every undead enemy is weak to fire. In aesthetics, yeah, 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. Easy. Easy. Being able to summon like an entire city. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. We're gonna get super... Okay, Phoenix Flame, this is easy. Now, Phoenix is one of the better fucking things in the game. Alright, as far as what you use, like the damage is like 6 out of 10, something like that. So not great on the damage part. However, usefulness is probably like 10 out of 10. Simply because what you can do with this is do final attack in Phoenix. So quite literally, if the party wipes or something like that, or an important character wipes, you can equip final attack and Phoenix with this, and then it'll... Yeah, if there's like a massive party wipe or something like that, you can get this off, like final attack in Phoenix, and then it casts life too on your entire party, and you're back in action. So I mean that's super good, super good, really really good. You can't see the entire animation behind Zolom. Wait, I didn't watch this cutscene. What the heck? Wait, what happens here? Oh no, is the game gonna fuck up? Okay. Is Yuffie T-posing? I think so. There's a text box for this? That's crazy. And then Vincent, yeah, Vincent isn't on the screen either. Okay, this is weird. Is this hidden content? Or unused content or whatever? Well, that is interesting, man. The fact that Vincent doesn't come out, because the game doesn't intend for it to happen. It's weird how she has a text box and the game functions normally. Because this cutscene is skipped in the run normally, you know, to save time. So the fact that I'm seeing the cutscene now, and then Yuffie has text here, means that it was either intended or I don't know. Right, Yuffie was intended to be recruited in Calm, which is why it's in New Threat, that she steals all your stuff. Yeah, that's crazy, man. Aerith also has text box and Icicle in. That's nutty, dude. That's really crazy. Okay, yeah, that just... The video kind of shifted. Okay, aesthetics is like probably a 7 out of 10. That wasn't anything too crazy. This does do fire damage, however. So that's the thing. Yeah, I don't know. This could be something for the old YouTube, man. This is an FF7? Yeah, this has been an FF7 the whole time? Speedrunner discovers something insane after speedrunning the game for 8 years. Or... no, it's been like 7 or 6 or 7. I don't know. But I've done this a long time. Okay, so Phoenix is pretty good. Very good summon. The most useful summon up to this point. The absolute most useful summon. Okay, so then... Neo. Dude, Neo Bahamut. Giga Flare. Okay, so Neo Bahamut. So the ground opens up, and then the platform... Oh my god. This is definitely... Dude, this is sick. This is so good. That is, I mean, come on, yeah. That is okay. Neo Bahamut. Yeah, we're getting to the 8 out of 10, 8 out of 10 damage. 8 out of 10 damage here. That is that might be my favorite one so far, dude. Usefulness, 6 out of 10. I mean, again, it's non-elemental damage, but aesthetics, Jesus. 10 out of 10, dude. That was quite a bit of damage. It's also non-elemental. Remember that. Remember that it's also non-elemental, which is a pretty important thing. Okay, so we got Hades. My personal favorite summon. My personal favorite. Okay? My personal favorite. Frieza sabotaging the YouTube chat. Somebody wants to get out of a job. Okay. I see. Alright. Oh yeah. Hades, the damage is not as much. It's probably about a 6 out of 10 at this point. Usefulness, I mean, you can literally stun lock. Absolutely just cheese lock Ruby weapon with this summon alone. I mean, only for a certain amount of time. However, yeah, Hades can just basically trivialize one of the super bosses in the game, and I think that's incredibly useful. It also does, let's see, the status effects for Hades is pretty extensive. It does poison, confusion, sleep, silence, mini frog slow, and paralysis. Ooh, that's a good point. You can do added effect and equip it on your armor, and then it can be used kind of like as a makeshift ribbon. This is also a 10 out of 10 useful summon. This is awesome. This is a ridiculously good summon. Non-elemental summons lose value since you can't pair them with elemental. Right. And that's why we're doing that. Yeah, aesthetics 9 out of 10 probably. It's like 9.5. 9.5. Not a 9, dude, lol. You guys are taking this way too seriously. Okay, we have Typhoon. Disintegration. It's actually Typhoon, not Typoon. Blah! Damage is like, yeah, we're getting to some pretty high tier damage here. So 9 out of 10 for damage. Usefulness, this applies wind damage. So no, this is not multi-elemental. This is Kjata, or this is not. It's wind. It's wind element. You know, you can pair it with something, but like not really a whole lot of stuff. Usefulness, you know, 5 out of 10. What's weak to wind? Not really much of anything. Aesthetics, it's kind of wonky. I don't know. What do you guys think? Like a 7? Maybe even a 6? Yeah, you have to get this in the ancient forest. We'll put it at a 6. 6 out of 10 for aesthetics. You guys don't like the creepy weird, I guess. Yeah, usefulness is 5 because you have to get this. You get this pretty late. You have to kill Ultima Weapon in order to even really get it. So what you have to do is you have to kill Ultima Weapon. Then what you have to do is walk all the way to the ancient forest, solve that ridiculous puzzle. It's not what you get for doing it, but it is one of the things that you get. So, and it's also in a bag, and I don't know why they put it in a bag. Okay, we have 2 more. 2 left. Bahamut ZERO. 10 Terra Flare. I still think that Neo Bahamut's cooler. That's a take. That's my take. Damage. This is probably like a 9.5. Or, well, 9 out of 10. Usefulness? Same thing. 5 out of 10. I mean, it's non-element. It's non-elemental. Can't really be paired with anything. You know, it does ignore defenses and stuff. Aesthetics is a 9 out of 10. I prefer Neo Bahamut more. Okay? And now. Knights of the Round. Ultimate End. I mean, what do I do here? So, damage is a... yeah. It's just... yes out of 10. It's 12 or 13 hits or something. Like, kind of crazy. It's a lot. It's a lot of hits. Here's the thing about this summon, too, though. It's 13. Yeah. Here's the thing about this summon is that each one of those hits hits everything on the screen. It's an AoE. It's not just one target. It's AoE. I mean, you know, it's an S tier summon. You can't pair this with Quadra Magic, though. You know, but why would you? Even if you pair a summon with Quadra Magic, this still beats it out, like on a single cast. Yes out of 10. Aesthetics. It's pretty long. Pretty long. I mean, bathroom break out of 10. So, I mean, yes, is there a definitive best summon in the game? It's obviously KOTOR, right? Am I going to cover Supernova? Supernova's dumb. Mainly because he can destroy the universe, like, multiple times. He can do Supernova twice. Could I at least show it for content? I mean, I guess. FF7 Supernova. Okay, Supernova. Just, you know, it's dumb. Oh yeah, sun's gone, by the way, too. That's cool. Yeah, okay, he's encased in the sun. This is such a stupid move, dude. It's not even epic. And then, like, it can't even... Like, it can't... Dude, it can't even kill anything. It can't... It literally can't kill any enemy in the game. It cannot. It has no ability to do that. Because it brings you... What it does is it brings you down to 1 HP. Or something like that. And then he can do it again, right? And then the next time he does it, it doesn't even do damage to you. It's just stupid, and it takes, like, forever. Yeah, 90% of current HP. Yeah. Dumb move, dude. Very dumb move. Alright, chat. So, here we go. Now, here's where we do the thing. Alright, yeah, let's do this. So Choco-mog, damage is 3 out of 10, usefulness 7 out of 10, aesthetics is 6 out of 10. I would honestly put this in like C tier. I would put this as a C summon. Even with Fat Chocobo, you know, it's a little better. I would put this in C tier or something, you know. Shiva, damage is 4 out of 10, usefulness 4 out of 10, aesthetics 8 out of 10. I would put Shiva in like D tier. Well, no, I'd put Shiva in this is tough, man. Okay. I'd put Shiva in probably B. I mean, she's got some good aesthetics going on. You know, the damage is like whatever. The usefulness, you know, it's not, you know, B for Booba if you guys want to do that. I would put Ifrit also in this tier, but just a little bit further ahead. Ramuh would be an also B tier as well. Because, like, the usefulness, I don't know, I'd put Ifrit in C tier as well, but just a little bit ahead of Choco-mog. Because the usefulness of Ramuh goes up just slightly. Titan probably also belongs in C tier as well. No, I'd say that's a B tier because the damage is, like, a lot higher. But I'd put it in the lower B tier class. Odin, I think this goes in an A tier. I think yeah, Odin's great. I think that goes in A tier, mainly because of, you know, Gunge, and then you have the Zantetsuken. Zantetsuken, this is true, you know what, it doesn't hit flyers, so Titan is probably not, like, the best thing here. So Zantetsuken is really good. The aesthetics is really cool. The usefulness is, like, up there as well, mainly because, you can pair it with added effect in this on a weapon, and then put death effect on a weapon. So that's like really good. So I think that's why Odin's in an A tier summon. Leviathan, I don't know, probably a B tier. Probably a B tier summon. Sadly, like, Leviathan just kind of gets... It's not really that great. It's not really that great. I honestly kind of want to put this thing in D tier. Mainly because, like, it's not that crazy useful. You get it, like, fairly late in the game. And, like, when you do get it, there's probably other stuff that you want to use besides this. And, you know, the animation's not that great. So I would put Leviathan in probably D tier. Bahamut is pretty good. Regular Bahamut is definitely an A tier summon, but I would definitely put Odin usefulness over Bahamut's usefulness. I put him here because of the good looking aesthetic, and then the damage, and then the fact that, like, nothing can resist its damage. It completely resists all the defenses and stuff, and that's super good. But I still would put Odin as a better summon overall over Bahamut. Kjata. Alright. I'd say this belongs in probably B tier. I don't know. No, I think Kjata is probably better. I want to put this in S. I don't know. Dude, I don't know. I think the usefulness drags it down a bit. Mainly because you have to be careful of what you're going to use this summon against. Because, you know, it does, once again, it does lightning, water, lightning, fire, and ice damage. And again, it's like, you have to be careful. You can't use it just against anything, or else you're going to heal something, or just not doing any damage to it at all. You never pick it up during runs? Well, no, we don't pick up, like, most summons when we do runs. You can pair elemental on armor. I mean, this is true. This is true. I'd put it above Bahamut in this case. The aesthetics really carry this thing. Alexander, high B tier list. I mean, the damage is strictly holy because it's holy damage. Holy isn't like super great. It's only going to affect like a very small select things. The animation though is absolutely awesome, and that's why I put it as a high B tier list. In its tier, I think it's the best. So I think that's proper place. Phoenix, definitely an S tier summon. I mean, a lot of the times you're not going to be casting Phoenix for the damage itself. However, it is great to have, you know, for final attack and, you know, all that. So, I mean, this is easily an S tier summon, just for the simple fact that it's one of the, you know, final attack Phoenix. I mean, come on, how are you gonna go wrong? Neo Bahamut, high A tier, very high damage, usefulness not that great, aesthetics is 10 out of 10. Does this hit multiple things? I don't remember. Is Bahamut single target, or yeah, it should hit everything, right? It's non-elemental. It just does a ton of damage, you know, but it looks absolutely amazing. All right, then Typhoon, or no, Hades. I would put this definitely as an S tier summon, simply because it's incredibly useful. You can do added effect and then like create a makeshift ribbon with it if you want. It kind of trivializes one of the super bosses in the game, Ruby Weapon. It looks really badass. It casts 8 status effects all in a row in one summon. Just come on, this summon is amazing. Typhoon, I don't know about this one, dude. For where you get it, I don't know. Does this belong in F though? For where you get this, and when you get it, and what it does, and like, I don't know, the overall things of, I don't know, it's just not that great. I'd say this is an F tier. I'd say this is definitely an F tier summon. Poor dude, you know? Bahamut ZERO, more of the same thing. I'd say for how epic this thing is. Now keep in mind, you have to get all the huge materia in order to get this thing. You have to get all of the huge materia. I mean, that's a hell of a side quest in itself, right? You get it incredibly late, costs a ton of MP. It does look cool, but I think Neo Bahamut is much cooler. I'd rather cast Neo Bahamut over Bahamut ZERO. So I would put this right there. Low A tier summon. Whenever you factor in all of the stuff, I think that's pretty reasonable, you know. Then we have KOTOR or whatever. I mean, you know, does this even have? I mean, does this summon even belong on this tier list? I don't know. You know, exactly. KOTOR should have its own category. It's not even fair. You know. All right, somebody take a pic so I can put this on social media. I'm gonna go. I made my own summon tier list. Haha. So I think this is pretty good.